I love your way of explaining stuff. So refreshing. Thanks, Desiree.
Hello, how are you
Hi,
doing?
Jess. How are you?
I'm good. It's been so long since I've done one of these. I was like, what button is this again?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to do this with you. So, guys, this is Jess. Okay, I call her Coach Jess. She's a coach on my team, and she's so much more than that than just a coach. She works with me side by side with my business, with our coaching business, and helping to make sure our clients thrive and reach their health and fitness goals and repair their relationship with food. Super important. So say hi, Jess.
Hello, hello. Yeah, I know it's a lot. It's a mouthful, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah,
It's hard to explain exactly what it is you do with us, but it's. I mean, so much. There's so much to it. So
yeah, yeah. Well, I suppose in essence, so I'm a registered nutritionist, and my main focus, I've been working in this field for quite a number of years now, and my main thing is helping people heal their relationship with food. And oftentimes people often think, what is healing your relationship with food? Like, what is that? What does a behavior nutritionist
yeah,
even do to
yeah,
help to start off with? And it's a little bit of a minefield, because I feel like this is an area that a lot of people don't really go into, don't really try and work through, or not really too sure how to work through it.
hmm
So in essence, it's kind of working through that diet mindset, overcoming that all or nothing thinking with food, removing food rules, finding balance. I mean, there's loads, and I think it's very dependent on the person as well. But in a
hmm
nutshell, they're the kinds of things that I do.
Absolutely. So, Jess, what would you say when working with our clients are like the two biggest things you see that people need to work through? I know you kind of mentioned one thing already right there, which is all or nothing thinking. Would you say that's one of them?
Yeah, and how that presents itself is there's good or bad, and also that's kind of like it's on or off. I actually had that conversation with a client of ours yesterday, and it was this, oh, like nothing is working, I'm either on it, I'm either going perfect, I'm tracking, I'm exercising, I'm eating healthy, or I'm doing nothing, I'm getting fast food, I'm eating out, and all these things. And well, neither of those are good or bad. They're habits. The thing is this on off button, right? And I think I often say that anytime you feel like you need to take a break from your lifestyle, it's not a lifestyle. So
Right.
and this is with that kind of fueled by that all or nothing mindset.
Yeah. So guys, in the comments, let us know, give us like a thumbs up or hands emoji if you struggle with that all or nothing mindset. Because that's something that we're really passionate about helping people through. Because like just said, it's not off or on, okay? Our health and fitness, it's the rest of our life, okay? So how can that be off or on, So and the reason why you're not reaching your health and fitness goals is because you have that mindset, You can't just do something for a couple of weeks or a couple of months at a time and then expect, okay, cool, I'm just gonna go on cruise control from here. It's good. No, it doesn't work that way. Sorry, heart.
Yeah.
Tough news.
Exactly. And it's this idea of when we start any new thing or any diet, especially, it's kind of, going to the store and what groceries you buy. And I'm thinking to yourself, if your trolleys are loaded up with fruits and veggies and Greek yogurt and all these things that are wonderful, but maybe they're things that you don't actually like, and in 2 weeks time they're going to be sat in the back of that fridge not touched whatsoever, and you're still ordering out X, Y, and Z. And so it's that idea of asking yourself, okay, do I like and enjoy these foods? Do they satisfy me? Because it's kind of moving away from, okay, I'm eating healthy now, I have to have all these healthy foods in, and that's me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, are you eating the foods that you think you're supposed to be eating, or are you actually eating the foods that you want to be eating and that you enjoy? Because that's the good news, right? Is we can eat those fun foods or the foods that we enjoy and be perfectly healthy doing that too. And that's what we need people to understand.
Yeah, for sure. Was there a little question in there?
Yeah, so we got a couple of thumbs up. The people are struggling with that all or nothing thinking. We have a few people there. We do have a question. So Desiree La French says, I eat healthy, but I feel like I overeat by the end of the day. How do I fix that? I hate writing down what I eat. Great question. And I'm going to touch on that really quickly. I hate writing down what I eat part. Like, why do you hate writing down what you eat? You know, what about writing down what you eat do you hate? Is it the 30 seconds that it takes to do that? Or is it the fact that it's bringing awareness to your eating habits, and you just don't want to be confronted with that?
Yeah. And also, this is, thanks so much for asking this question. This is something we get a lot. And this is probably one of the top 5 main themes that I work with clients within our container with. Pretty sure I've done a webinar as well on this topic too. But anyway, to answer that question a little bit more, is it's really feeding into that binge restrict cycle even throughout the day. So throughout the day, it's we're eating healthy, we're eating healthy, we're eating healthy, but maybe we are physically restricting food, saying to ourselves, oh, I can't have that, I shouldn't have that, or physically restricting, or maybe we're mentally restricting it as we're eating it, saying, oh, this is too much, this is too bad for me, whatever it is. And when we restrict anything, the desire for that food increases. So it's kind of like that forbidden fruit analogy. The more we say you can't have it, the more you're going to want it. I often use the example of, if you've ever been, maybe dating a guy or a girl or whoever, and your friends say, oh, they're not good for you, you shouldn't date them, you shouldn't go on a date with them. What happens? Your desire for that person increases so much, and you end up going out with them or going on a date with them even if you didn't really want to. It was just that, again, that restriction or that kind of feeling of, ooh, this is something I shouldn't be doing. Again, our brain works off of reward systems, so the amount of reward we get off that is heightened. And then what happens is, because of that restriction, there might be one of two things happening. Either we are physically hungry by the end of that day because we're eating healthy. Is your healthy a teeny tiny salad with a teeny tiny amount of chicken, or whatever that healthy looks like, and then maybe we're actually physically hungry in the evening time? Or is it that we've been restricting, and then we have, oh, I'm just going to have 1 or 2 cookies or whatever it is, and it turns into a lot more. So to answer the question of how do I fix that, awareness. Matt kind of alluded to it already. Awareness is everything when it comes to our behaviors around food and healing a relationship with food. So there's a really good mindful eating journal on Amazon you can get. If you even just type in mindful eating journal on Amazon, you can get one of those, and it's a really great way to record those eating patterns if you're not wanting to use MyFitnessPal, and then kind of just really going through it and making sure you're eating enough throughout the day, but just paying attention. Are you restricting? Are you labeling foods? Is that something that you need to work through by incorporating them more often? So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. There's a lot in that as well.
There is a lot in that, but that is a pretty typical scenario that we see. Yeah. And when I'm working with somebody, when they're overeating at nighttime, it can almost always be traced back to the fact that they're just under eating throughout the day.
Yeah.
So it's definitely to make it short for myself. There is something that you said here too, Desiree, in your comments. You said, I have to measure, weigh, etc. You don't have to do that. Okay. So that thinking right there is part of the reason why you're not doing these things and why you're not having the success that you're looking for. You've got that mindset of, I have to do this. No, you fucking don't. Okay. There's many ways to skin the cat, as they say, there's many ways that you can raise awareness, but that's one way that you can do that. A journal, like Jess said, is a great way of doing that. And also, here's the thing too, Desiree, and everybody else that's watching. At some point, you're going to have to do something that you don't want to do, that's uncomfortable. Being comfortable and doing the same thing is what's gotten you into this place, and that's not fucking working for you anymore, okay? So you're going to have to try something new. You're going to have to think differently, okay? The way you're thinking has not been working for you leading up to this point, so it's time to rewire the way we think. Yeah.
I was actually having a conversation earlier today, and I was talking about, nothing magic ever happened in the comfort zone, and that's the truth of it, right? And we stay in that comfort zone because it's comfortable, it's familiar. But ultimately, if we are wanting those changes, if we are seeing that there's more there, there is a possibility. I'm seeing other people doing it. I want to have that food freedom. I want to have that way of life with food. Tuning into that. I think it's also important as well for people to kind of reprioritize their goals as well and give themselves permission to reprioritize their goals. Oh, thank you, Elaine. Because there's such a focus on weight loss, fat loss, and even people that are joining here today, drop in the comments if you like how many years you've been dieting, how many years you have been at war with your body, spinning your wheels, trying to overcome these things. Has it worked? Well, probably not, because it hasn't for many of our clients, and it especially didn't with me as well, right? So again, because of that, asking yourself, what's my goal right now? Is my goal fat loss, or is my goal healing my relationship with food? And for that, Desiree, as well, 51 years, maybe it's a sign then to take that pressure off your shoulders, that you need to lose weight, that you need to lose fat. Give yourself that time and space to heal your relationship with food. And then that, the body composition changes as a result of normally one way or another. But I think that kind of permission slip to take that pressure off is a big one. Yeah. We talk about that a lot too, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's what you guys will be seeing this a lot in my content going forward. I'm not going to be talking about fat loss as much. Okay. And there's a reason for that. First of all, I don't enjoy talking about fat loss, if I'm being honest with you guys, but focusing on what fat loss hasn't worked for you up to this point, and it's not going to work by making that the goal. Okay. We need to look at our mindset and our behaviors around our own life. Okay. When we improve our lifestyle, when we improve our mindset, the fat loss is easy. Okay. When we repair our relationship with food and you still want to lose fat, it's so much fucking easier then. And it's more realistic and it's sustainable at that point because you've repaired your relationship with food. You're not stuck in these binge and restrict episodes and this all or nothing thinking and everything else that we've already talked about. So, we actually had this conversation on one of our group calls last night, Jess. Yeah. We just finished up. We're starting week 8 with the one group that we're doing right now, and we were talking about self-care. At the end of it, we were just talking a little bit, shooting the shit, and I was talking about them. I was like, yeah, I don't like talking about fat loss, and I am aware that the reason why most people come to me for help and come to us for help is for fat loss. Mm-hmm. But what they get when working with us is so much more than just fat loss. Fat loss happens for most people if that's a goal of theirs. Yeah. But we're giving you what you need, not necessarily what you want. What you need, and everybody after working with us is like, holy shit, I didn't realize my mindset was that poor, was that bad, and that's what was preventing me from reaching my goals. But that's what everybody on the group call said last night. Like, if I had to do it all over again, I would absolutely do it now, knowing that it truly was my mindset that was holding me back this entire time. And once that weight gets lifted off your shoulders, it's like a game changer.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's super powerful. And an analogy that I often use within my coaching sessions is, say, for example, you've been emotionally eating for X amount of years and you have that disordered relationship with food and that binge restrict cycle, so on and so forth. And as a result of that, you've gained fat. And thinking of it as, rather than thinking of, oh my God, I've got all this weight to lose, I need to lose all this weight, thinking about how that has come about to begin with, how you have gotten to this point. And if we have reached this point as a result of emotional eating, then it's largely emotional weight that we need to shed and lose. And this is why it's so important to take the focus off of the scale and the losing the fat and all this kind of stuff and give ourselves space to grow into this new mindset. Because our bodies will naturally fall at whatever that baseline is that works for us. And, I think you said a really, really important thing there as well, Matt, is that people that go through that process first of healing their relationship with food and then go into a fat loss phase and then go into that as a goal, the results speak for themselves. It's so much easier. It's so much more seamless. It's so much more powerful and meaningful for them. And also it is sustainable because it's not this arbitrary number or quick thing. And as Desiree even is kind of highlighting there, that emotional weight has been dealt with. So you're not carrying that on with you, right? So we're all full of the analogies today. I love a good analogy.
Yeah, Desiree said emotional weight to lose. That's deep. Absolutely, it is. Yeah. Emotional eating, a lot of people are emotional eaters, right? And I think that's important to understand, right, Jess, is that we are emotional eaters. That's not a bad thing necessarily, right? That's one tool that people use to cope with their emotions. It's really about, first of all, being aware that we're emotional eaters, acknowledging that, and not looking at it as a problem, but this is the way I look at it. It's not a problem, but it's more so it's an opportunity to improve, and it's an opportunity to develop up a, like you used to like to say all the time, Jess, emotional tool belt, right? Yeah. So let's work on some other strategies to cope with our emotions rather than just having food. Let's move the food down in the priority list, essentially.
Yeah. Because the thing is, you know, every one of us emotionally eats as humans because we're emotional beings. And that's, I think, one of the great things about being human and experiencing food is we get to eat it for pleasure, to celebrate in religious ceremonies, in, you know, birthdays, Christmas, all these things that we use food, and they're all emotional reasons, right? They're emotional things that we're doing, you see. But the thing is that when food is like anything, if it's our only method to cope with emotions, and oftentimes it's not really coping with those emotions, it's flighting away or stuffing down the emotions. So it's not really a way of coping with it. It's a way of distracting ourselves from the real conversation. And that's why it doesn't work. That's why it doesn't help us. So again, yeah, it's developing out that emotional toolbox, which is key. It's key. And, you know, for anybody here that's joined today, if they're wondering maybe how to start up their emotional toolbox, maybe that's a phrase that they've heard of, they've not heard of this before, it's a really good place is sit down and write out a list of 5 to 10 things that you enjoy doing, that make you feel good, that make you feel, you know, relaxed, maybe things that you've wanted to do, maybe things that other people, or that you've done in the past. So is it going for a walk? Is it, you know, watching something on Netflix? Is it having a bath? Is it you know, whatever, it doesn't matter what the thing is. And each day, make a promise to commit to doing at least one of those things each day. So maybe it's writing 5 minutes in your journal. Maybe it's taking a 10-minute walk, right? These are really small things, but they really do stack up on each other. And over time, yeah, you definitely notice a difference.
I love that. Some practical tips for you guys, for you to get started. And this stuff that we talk about, you're like, what's the point? Okay. Going back to what we said earlier, it's about awareness. You can't change something if you don't know it's an issue. You know, that's why we track things. Okay. What gets tracked, what gets measured gets controlled in a way. Yeah. So if we have data to look at, if we have things to reflect on, and that's why journaling is so powerful, because it's like a brain dump. Putting that pen to paper it makes it more real. It's great for raising awareness.
Yeah. You know what my favorite is to kind of keep track on? The majority of the people I work with, they're not tracking or using that as a tool on their health journey. But again, we love to see progress. We love that reinforcement. We love to have that visual. So non-scale victories is
Yay!
thing that I encourage people to start tracking. And yeah, another really useful tool is tracking those non-scale victories. So each week you can have a pen and paper. You can even get yourself like a little container if you want to, and start ripping it off, and you know, the little whatever the non-scale victory is, and popping it into the jar or whatever. And over time you'll get to see that it's also really powerful on those days where you feel like maybe you're not doing so good or you're not making progress. You can have a little look back on these, and yeah, it's so powerful. There's definitely a massive correlation between the clients that have the best success and those that track those non-scale victories. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, those non-scale victories are so important. And that's what a lot of my conversations are with clients when I do my check-in calls, right? Is they might be feeling defeated and like, oh, the scale didn't really move that much, or maybe they haven't seen the scale move in a couple of weeks. And obviously you don't look at that, but I do look at that with clients. And I'm like, okay, well, let's look at some other things, okay? And then when we start talking and diving into what's been going on the last couple of weeks, they're feeling better. Their energy levels are improved. They're sleeping better. They're drinking more water. They're feeling stronger in the gym. They hit PRs, you know? All these other non-scale metrics that are even more important, honestly, than the scale. The scale is one of the least one of the least important things about your health and fitness. I mean, honestly, it's probably the least important.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't tell you shit about
No.
your progress and your health and your fitness. So
yeah, and this is a really, really tough thing for people to get their heads around as well, because we echo this a lot to people we work with, and you know, at first I always get that same fake like expression of, really, Jess? Really?
yeah.
Because it's hard, right? If that's something that we've been using to measure our success off of our whole entire lives, and then suddenly it's like, you know, moving away from that, it's really hard. And I think, you know, even kind of going through what Desiree is saying there, trying not to focus so much on the scale is hard, and, you know, all these different things. You know, I always say that if the scale makes or breaks your day, then maybe that's an indication that you need to create some distance between you and the scale. So, you know, if it makes you either eat more or eat less, depending on what that number says, if it affects your mental health, all these different things, widening out, there's so many other ways to measure that, and it's way more impactful. You know, the scale tells you your relationship with gravity for that one moment in time. You can step on the scale 2 hours later and it could be a completely different thing. You know, Liz there is saying the non-scale, I know she's a non-scale victory queen, so yeah, she gets it. Amazing.
For sure. Yeah, I would prefer to talk about your strength gains that you're making in the gym, because that actually has a better correlation to improving your health, getting stronger in the gym rather than losing 5 pounds, you know?
Yeah.
And that's, you know, a lot of clients that come to us and we start working with them, they've never strength trained before in their life, or they've always had a negative relationship with exercise because they've been exercising to punish their body and burn as many calories as possible. But when we take the focus away from that to just being physically strong and feeling good, guess what? They feel better. They get healthier. Their body changes in ways that they never would have imagined, you know? And that's because they stopped focusing on being as small as possible and burning calories. You know, and that leads me on to this point or this question that we received is, does walking help you lose weight, and how much walking should you do? See, I don't like that question. I would like you to reframe that question from does walking help you lose weight to is walking good for you? Does walking help you improve your health? Does walking help improve your mental health? And the answer to those questions is yes. Okay. Does it help you lose weight? Sure. Anything can help you fucking lose weight, but that's not why we need to be doing it. Okay. Walking is beneficial to your overall health. It's good for your heart health, okay? If you care about your health, if you care about being healthy, then yeah, fucking walk. How much walking should you do? That's, again, more than you're doing now, probably, if you're asking this question. So start with more. There's general recommendations. There's recommendations from the American Heart Association, which is 150 minutes a week. Sounds like a lot, but when you break it down to it and you look at it as 2 10-minute walks a day, that seems more manageable than 150 minutes a week, right? So go walk 10, 20 minutes a day for overall health, not to burn calories and lose weight.
Yeah, and I think it's a really interesting point with movement is focus more on how movement makes you feel and less about what you are hoping movement will do for you, right? And even using that phrase movement, you know, this is something I speak about a lot with people as well, is rather than just coining the term exercise, movement is a lot more conducive for all the other things that you can do to move your body, right? Our body needs to move. If you think about it, in our body, it's constantly moving. If what's happening inside our body didn't move, we would die, quite frankly. It's constantly moving, every cell, our heart's beating. So as human beings, we need to move. We are not static beings at all. We are moving beings. So it's giving ourselves permission to do that and not seeing it as, oh, I better go for, you know, a walk because, you know, I have to do it for my health. It's no, well, you know, like your body needs to move and it feels good.
Yeah, your body craves movement. And if you're feeling like shit and you're not moving, move. Like that movement is medicine. Okay. That might sound really sensationalist, but movement goes so far improving our overall health and well-being and the way we're feeling. So if you're not getting some intentional movement that makes you feel good daily, like let's start there.
Yeah, and even 10 minutes, you know, it doesn't have to, even 10-20 minutes doesn't have to be a long amount of time. Any more questions there? I thought I saw another little one.
Well, I know you already addressed Liz's comment, but I want to address that too. I love that Liz made that comment. So Liz is one of our clients who's been absolutely fucking thriving and crushing it with us. She works with Coach Jess and Coach Liz, and then myself as well as overseeing the program and everything. But she's just been crushing it. She fully understands everything that we talk about, and she embraces it.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Yeah.
Now there is a question in here, another question from Sandy here. She says, what's the best cardio to do? Well, the best cardio to do, Sandy, is the cardio that you enjoy doing and that you can realistically stick with. There is no best anything, okay? There is no best way to work out. There's no best strength training program. There's no best way to get cardio in. The best way is what works for you. And that might sound like, oh, Matt, that's a stupid answer. Why can't you just fucking answer? Because that's the truth. It's nuanced, okay? Everybody is different. What's best for me, Sandy, isn't going to be what's best for you. What's best for me is going on a walk every day. Okay. Is that not best for you? Then what is best for you? Maybe it's riding a bike. Maybe it's going on the rowing machine, you know? But I would also question this infatuation with cardio, because you also asked a question about is walking good to lose weight? So that to me tells me that you're trying to use cardio as a tool to lose weight and burn as many calories as possible. Okay. That is a really poor way of looking at cardio and exercise. Okay. That is a bad behavior to have around exercise, and you're doing it for the wrong reasons, if I may be honest with you. That's my assumption there.
Yeah. And, you know, I want to also, I'm just plugging my phone in. I also want to kind of add on to that as well, that, you know, for me, my own relationship with movement has been quite a journey. And, you know, I always thought that I needed to be on the treadmill or on the cross trainer, these like typical girly types of cardios or whatever diet culture tried to brainwash me with, quite frankly,
right.
Or even like running. And you know, one of the conclusions that I reached is that I absolutely hate running. I hate everything about it, and I often say to people is, if you see me run, you better run too, because I'm running away from something. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
But the best form of cardio I personally enjoy is more unintentional cardio. What I mean by that is an activity. So something I've been doing for the last couple of months now is tennis. Tennis is such a good form of movement to get that heart rate up. And I think this is the thing with cardio, is that often we think of cardio as like, you know, on the cross trainer or, you know, going for a walk, but are you actually raising your heart rate? Are you actually giving your heart that opportunity? Because that's really what makes those health markers and improves that endurance. So yeah, tennis, games, things like that, like fun things.
Fun.
You know?
Yes. Enjoyment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a really important aspect with all things with health and fitness, with the way we eat, with the way we move, all that. Enjoyment. Okay, there is lots of data and evidence and research to support this. If you enjoy what you're doing, okay, you're more likely to stick with it. And that's why things like diets and all these fat blasting programs, they don't work for you, because you burn out on them. You don't stick with them because you don't enjoy them, okay? Think of like the Beachbody workouts or T25 or whatever fucking insanity program is out there at the moment. They're torturing you. They're punishing you with cardio and burpees and all that shit that, let's be honest, you don't actually enjoy that. So why are you doing it, okay?
And also, nobody enjoys them. Everybody's lying. I have not met anybody that actually enjoys these rigorous, you know, burpees and all these different things. Like, fair enough, you know, they have their role in place, and not demonizing those exercises, but, you know, there's so much effort and emphasis and focus on it. And it really takes away, again, that key element of play, enjoyment, you know, that kind of, even that fun side, that inner child side that gets to come out and play with these things. So yeah, maybe it's even connecting to a sport that you used to play when you were younger, and kind of bring that back in. You know, it doesn't have to look as black and white as, you know, that all or nothing that we were talking about at the start.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, do you have any questions about anything we've been talking about? Let us know. Okay, we are here to answer any questions you might have. So again, Coach Jess, we work together. She's our behavioral nutritionist on our team. If you're liking what we're talking about and you're like, holy shit, I think this might be the missing piece. I think I do want to explore this. Cool, let's talk. We are currently taking on new clients. You can send myself or Jess a DM, or you can also just go straight to my bio and click the link there and apply for coaching, and then get on a call with either myself or Jess. We both do calls with people for coaching consultations, and we can talk about what you're going through, what you're struggling with, what your goals are, and we can work on what a plan might look like for you and put it together and how it might benefit you. So.
Yeah. I think the key goal as well is the fact that this is not a one size fits all. We're all individual humans. So the most powerful thing about the work that we do, and that's why we have such a varied team as well, is that each and everything is going to be tailored to that person. You know, as Matt was kind of saying there, you know, he might like going for walks for his cardio and might hate tennis. So I'm not going to say to him, okay, Matt, like start playing tennis, or, you know, we don't operate like that anyway, telling people what to do. But this is not a one size fits all. So we'd be more than welcome to invite you in. Yeah,
absolutely. We've had clients, right, where they just despise movement and strength training and all this other stuff, but it comes to find out they love dancing, right? So it's like, cool, let's dance. Let's start finding some dance classes or dancing in your kitchen or something, you know. We have one client that recently just started like a show tunes dance class or something like that. So, which is super cool. And she was so excited for it, and I can't wait to talk to her about it. But there's just so many ways to get this stuff in, guys.
There is, and there's also clients that we have as well. You know, I think this is the idea of exercise, even strength training, thinking that maybe we're too old for it or these kinds of things. You know, we have one client that's just finished up their journey with us, which I'm so sad about, but and also happy because it means that she was ready and she's doing really well. But she had never stepped foot inside a gym before, ever, let alone pick up a weight. And now she's strength training 3 times a week. And she's 65. I think she's around between 60 and 65.
Mid-60s.
She's lifting heavy weights, like, you know, we're doing really well smashing it. So, I think just kind of squashing any of that idea as well, that
it's never too late. You're never too old to get started working on your health and fitness and your mindset, your strength, okay? And actually, the older that we get, the more we age, that strength training is even more important at that time. That can combat a lot of the health conditions that come with getting older, you know, osteoporosis, sarcopenia, which is muscle breakdown as we age. That's why a lot of injuries and things like that happen as we get older from falls. Is because our bodies are just weak, our muscles are weak, our bones are weak. Strength training improves that dramatically, especially once you get into your 60s, 70s and beyond. So we are working out to be healthy now, let's look at it as we're strength training and things like that for future self, 30 years from now, 20 years from now, however old you are, to maintain our independence when we get older, to improve our quality of life, you know, see our grandkids grow up and play with them, you know, chase them around the yard, things like that. I actually had a coaching consultation this morning with a woman. She's in her mid-50s, and she's talking about her nephews. She loves spending time with her nephews, but she just can't run around with them and play with them right now. So that's actually a goal of hers for us working together. She wants to be able to play with her nephews that are young. Okay, so we're strength training and some cardio. We're going to get her getting that functional strength and mobility back. Performance physio. What's up? Said strength training for the elderly. Absolutely. That's Kieran's brother, right?
Yeah, Shamey.
I'm not sure if I follow him. Must have came in from yours.
For sure. He's really good for athletes' performance as well, and tips on that. So
I just gave him a follow.
And on the point on strength training as well, is that we're talking a lot about what it does for our physicality, but then also confidence-wise. Holy shit, it is different gravy. It is different gravy. You know, I was speaking to one of our clients yesterday, and she was saying, you know, I was off off my workouts for the last 2 weeks, and because she had some different things going on, she went back yesterday and she was like, I just wanted to go back and lift some heavy shit and feel good. And it's
I love that
thing of just, and really just kind of giving that confidence and building up. There's no feeling like it, for sure. Mrs. Wheels has a little question here. How long should a session be for strength training if I can only do it twice a week? Fantastic. I love that. Do you want to take that one, Matt?
Absolutely. So I want to look at it as how long should it be, but what you're doing within, let's say you only have 45 or 60 minutes, okay? And I shouldn't say only. I don't like that word. Let's try to stop using that word. 45 to 60 minutes, you can get a lot done, okay? So it's what you're doing in the gym that matters, okay? A good workout program with focusing on the fundamentals, so there's like 7 fundamental human movements that we want to get really fucking good at, okay? That's going to be like pushing movements, so pushing away from our body, pushing up over our body or over our head, pulling, right? So pulling things to us, pulling things down to us, pulling our body up to things, twisting, lunging, squatting, deadlifting, and walking, okay? So our workout program should be focused on that. So if you got 2 days a week where you can do that, you can do, I would recommend like 2 full body workouts or an upper body day and a lower body day. 45, 60 minutes will get you in and out and get a really good routine with like 6 movements with each session. You'll be doing pretty damn well there.
And also, I want to add in as well is increasing the enjoyment of these training sessions too. Rather than viewing it as, I just need to get in, I need to do these 6 exercises, I need to get out again. Give yourself that space, have a podcast that you want to listen to or a playlist or something. Give yourself time in between reps to pause and take a breather rather than, I see it a lot, people just powering through these insane movements, and it's like, take your time and building up that mind muscle as well with it.
Yeah.
It's a really great way as well to get to know your body, and you kind of getting to know its different movements and what it can do and working with it. So yeah, slowing down, you might think, 6 movements, 6 different exercises, that should take me super quick. No, like give yourself some time.
Yeah, slow, controlled movements. Be mindful movement, okay? Let's just increase our mindfulness with every aspect of life. Let's try to do that, okay? Like Jess said, be in the movement. What I like to do is I usually close my eyes while I'm lifting, and I'll visualize. So let's say I'm doing a bicep curl, right? I'll sit here, and depending on what type of curl I'm doing, I'll touch the muscle, and I'll sit here, and as I'm working through the range of movement, I'm visualizing me in the muscle. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm one with the muscle. It might sound really corny, but it works. Okay. It helps you it helps you be in the moment, and just appreciate the movement and how it's making you feel. You're making that connection, that mind-body connection.
It definitely, and it also helps you to tune in a little bit more to body parts that maybe you've not put so much attention to. I think if I asked, I'd say the majority of people that struggle with their body image, say, oh, like my tummy or my legs or my arm or whatever it is. But, it's doing that mindful movement is a great way to figure out what parts of your body you're neutral towards. And that you're like, even that with the bicep, are you neutral towards that bicep? Do you not have no feelings or emotions towards it? Or even elements of your body that you're like, holy shit, I didn't even realize I had a bicep, and now look at this go, right? So it really helps to kind of see your body in a different way. And I think that's why we always echo strength training for people. So yeah, Mrs. Wheels, I hate cardio but love to lift heavy shit. Yes, me too, girl.
I feel you. The good news is there's so many ways to get cardio in. I don't recommend avoiding cardio just because I do care about your overall health. It doesn't take much to fulfill your cardio requirements. You can literally walk on the treadmill for 5 or 10 minutes to warm up for your workouts. Because let's be real here, you should be warming up for your workouts too. You shouldn't be just going into lifting, and walking on a treadmill is a great way to do that. It's boring, which is why I only recommend 5 or 10 minutes of it. But
yeah.
And you said something there too about like I didn't know I had a bicep, and that's something that people tell us all the time too when working with us. It's like, I have baby biceps coming in. I can see muscle. I can see my shoulders popping. I can see my veins coming through, or like the definition is coming, and that's because of the power of the strength training,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think about it. And one of the biggest misconceptions we see with health and fitness is like this obsession with making our body as small as possible, right? And we just talked about this actually on our podcast this week with the girls from the F Word podcast, how they changed their focus, and they're only 21 years old, so they're in it right now. So they're currently battling with diet culture and reframing their way of thinking, but they've changed their focus from being as skinny as possible to being as strong as possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if we could do that, you'll be amazed by the changes in your body and the way you feel.
Yeah, for sure. Even with my own journey at the moment, I don't have any, as in like fat loss goals or anything like that. I haven't done for a long, long time. I don't even own a scale. I was actually talking about this to a client recently. I don't even know how much I would weigh. I don't own a scale. I haven't done for maybe like 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
But one of my overarching fitness goals is how strong can I actually get? What is the heaviest that I can lift safely that feels good for me? And even just having that goal, it's such a game changer, and it kind of translates to loads of different parts of your lifestyle as well. Sleep, confidence, the food that you eat. You see your body in a lot different light as well. So yeah, I would definitely recommend if you're kind of on the fence of trying it, doing different types of movements, or if you're just sick of doing these little HIIT workouts in your front room, or whatever it is, definitely give it a go. And also, it doesn't make you bulky either. Like there's this
No.
that I don't want to be a bodybuilder. You're not going to be a bodybuilder.
You're not going to be a bodybuilder on accident. Okay. That is one of the biggest myths we see with strength training for women is they just picture like the biggest woman they've ever seen, like that's on stage, and she's been training for that her entire life. What makes you think you're going to get like that in 6 months?
Yeah. Like,
you have to be very fucking intentional. Your entire life has to be devoted to getting that big.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, do you have any idea how much people have to do, or what people have to do to get that body to look like that? And actually, that's another point that's kind of going to be quite helpful as well, that if any of you guys here, you can drop below in the comments too if this resonates, but how seeing different things on social media makes you feel. So before and after pictures, for example, when you see a before and after picture, maybe you're on your own health journey. I hear it a lot, people saying, I just feel like really bad. I feel like I'm not doing good enough. I feel like it's taking really long time, all of this. And one of the things I really try and highlight is you have no idea what that person done to get that after picture. You have no idea. You can't assume because they could be extremely restricting, completely over exercising, like fully disordered eating. So you're kind of marking yourself off something that is completely unattainable and probably not something that you want either.
Yep, absolutely. That's one of the reasons why we don't use progress pictures here for marketing purposes, because that doesn't tell anything. Okay, this shows you before and after what this person's looking like. You don't know what their health status is. You don't know what their mindset is. You don't know if they have an eating disorder. You don't know if their cholesterol and blood pressure is shit. You don't know those things.
Yeah, exactly. And actually the majority of I always say I wish that we could like somehow show the after pictures of the like mindset, because
I know,
huge.
right?
Like it's huge. And you just can't show those pictures. So yeah, a little tip for anybody to kind of help support. Sandy, a little question coming in there. How much exercise is too much for one day? I seem to overdo too much. All right, Matt, do you want to take that one?
That is a good question, and I'm not sure the best way to answer it other than saying, if you seem to be doing too much, you are. If you feel like you're doing too much, you probably are. Okay. Yeah. I would question, how are you feeling about your movement and the exercise that you're doing? Is it feeling like a burden to you? Is it feeling like something that's a chore to you? If it's not adding value into your life, I would absolutely look at what you're doing and how much of it you're doing. you don't need to be working out 6-7 days a week. You don't need to be lifting or exercising 5 days a week. I do believe that you should be doing some type of movement most days. That doesn't mean that you can't ever have a lazy day and just do fucking nothing, because I love a good day of just doing nothing. So I don't know. It's a very individualized answer, essentially. So I know that wasn't a great answer, but that's honestly, not to toot our own horns here, but that's what coaching is. It's individualized. It's giving you these answers that aren't answers in a way. We're not telling you what to do. We're not telling you this is how much of this you need to be doing. We help guide you there. We ask you the questions, and then you come up with the answers, essentially.
Yeah, I would encourage actually to reach out, Sandy, to either Matt or myself, so for a little bit more clarity on that, and maybe how we can help support you further, because all of this is exactly what we support people with within our coaching container as well, or even just provide some more clarity on that, because again, it's not a one size fits all. There's so many factors that depend on that, so many, right? So again, it's impossible to answer that.
I can speak from an example of a new client that we've started working with, which this past month, which we were so excited to start working with her. This woman, she used to be a bodybuilder many years ago, and she had been working with another coach online, and it just wasn't a good fit. This coach was killing her. She had her on 1,000 calories a day. And she was literally in the gym 6 days a week, strength training and supersetting all of her fucking movements.
Whoa.
Okay. So, and doing cardio in between all of her movements. 1,000 calories a day, 6 days a week in the gym, killing herself with movement. Okay. She came to us, and I think she's only lifting now 4 days a week, and she's eating like 1,800 calories. Okay. She's happier. She's feeling better, and she's also making progress. She wasn't making progress before on the 1,000 calories a day and the 6 days of killing herself in the gym a day. Guess why? Because she was binging at nighttime. She was overeating at nighttime, and she had a really poor relationship with food. So she was coming from a place of restriction and malnourishment, from her coach, which breaks my heart. Her coach had her doing this, and she recognized, she's like, this isn't working. I can't do this anymore. So we've got her on the right track.
Yeah, and even that, like 1,000 calories, that's not even enough for a toddler. A toddler requires around 1,200 calories per day. So think of like an adult, especially that's training like that, like an athlete. And let's be honest, I don't think, well, I'm speaking for myself, I'm not an athlete, so, like, and I don't think many of us are here. So unless we are an actual athlete, then there is absolutely no reason why we should be in the gym that frequently. So yeah, I think, if I always say, if you have to ask the question, you know the answer.
Yes.
You know the answer. What is that whisper that you're trying to ignore? What is it? Because, listen into that, and you'll get that answer crystal clear. Yeah,
you're looking for validation from us, but you already know the answer, okay? Listen to that intuition, okay? Listen to your body telling you these things. You start listening to your body in those situations, and that's mindfulness. You're already working on repairing your relationship with yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
When I do my leg day, my legs feel massive afterwards, but the next day they are back to normal. And by the way, motivation didn't help me lose my 16 kilograms. Discipline did, and I need to thank Matt for his amazing vids. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Wheels. I appreciate that. And that's the harsh reality of strength training is how big and strong our muscles feel shortly after, and then the next day, everything goes back to normal. So I like to think of it as like, that's how you're feeling now. Like your muscles are pumped up and feeling that way now. That's how they're going to eventually feel if you keep at this, because that's growth. So yeah,
and it's a great feeling as well, let's be honest.
It is. I feel strength training to me, and I've been since my powerlifting meet back in when was that, March? I haven't been strength training in the traditional sense. I haven't been going in there with the strength goals for powerlifting or anything like that. I'll be honest, I burn out on that. So I haven't touched a barbell in like 4 months. I haven't even been at the gym very much. I've been at the gym 2-3 days a week. I have been focusing for the last few months on moving to feel good. So my workouts are all like, I don't even go in with a plan. I'm going in to feel good. And I know what I'm doing in the gym. Of course, I'm a fucking trainer. But I'm going in with I just want to come out of this feeling good, essentially. And I do. I come out of it feeling like a badass motherfucker every time, And that's what strength training can do for you.
Yeah, and that's the goal, isn't it? And this is the part of, anytime you feel like you need to take a break from your lifestyle, then it's not a lifestyle. If you feel like you're doing too much and you're like, oh, I cannot wait for this to be over, then that's a sign that you're doing way, way too much and it's not sustainable whatsoever. So there's another little question here. What do you recommend for beginners with bad knees?
So the bad knees one is, of course, nuanced, and there's no right answer for that. It's individualized to you. There's lots of things you can be doing with bad knees. Strength training is a great way to improve your knee health. Okay, a lot of people will tell me I can't squat. My knees hurt. I've got bad knees. Well, guess what squatting does? It improves your knee health. It improves the ligaments and it strengthens the joints and everything. So, but if you do have bad knees, the best I can answer that without working with you. Of course, if we work with you, we can come up with a customized plan for you, is to see somebody in person, whether that's a physical therapist, a physio, something like that for a plan for that. Maybe, they said maybe more like weak knees. Okay. Squat. Okay. Yeah. Squatting movements, squatting patterns. You can use barbells, dumbbells, machines for that. Lunging is a very popular one. Might suck. Lunges, they give you that burn like no other, but they're one of the most beneficial movements that you can be doing. So if it's just like weak knees, you can absolutely just need to start doing some leg movements, squatting, leg pressing, lunging, focus on that. And if you can't squat right now, that's okay. Okay. If you can't even do a bodyweight squat right now, that's okay. You can make progress towards that. There's so many different ways that you can break down movements and do regressions and build your strength up.
Even starting off with some mobility, like gentle yoga, or gentle stretches and things like that. So yeah, kind of just even starting there, because I think a lot of it as well is this the confidence as well. If we've had an injury or we're feeling a little bit apprehensive about doing certain movements, build yourself up bit by bit, maybe even not focusing so much on the knees to begin with, focusing on other parts, like yoga is a great one, or other types of kind of mobility movements.
A lot of times just movement in general can fix a lot of our ailments and pains that we're feeling. And you said you'll use a chair. That's great. That's awesome. I love that, because that's a really good way of breaking a squat down. That's all squat is, standing up from a chair. Yeah. So you can, if you can't do it unassisted, cool. You can do assisted, hold on to something, support yourself. And then now currently I have to support myself, but that's going to be a goal of mine, is to be able to sit up from this chair unassisted.
Yeah. I love that. It's
that's progress. What was that? Sorry, Jess?
I said breaking it down into smaller, more achievable goals to build yourself back up. Yeah, I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Any other questions, guys? We have a few more minutes. And also, if you're not already following Coach Jess, she's down here, go give her a follow here. Tap her name, give her a follow. She's amazing. If you're interested in, how you can repair your relationship with food and with your body and increase your confidence and just fucking start loving yourself again, definitely give her a follow. She's fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think for many of us, food has been this black cloud that has governed our lives, and we're thinking about it, and we're eating too much and we're eating too little and all these different things. And it's having that food freedom is removing that, which is so powerful. Just don't want to miss that question that Mrs. Wheel said. Do you have any clients with PCOS? Yes, we do. Quite a lot, actually. Yeah. Quite a lot.
So we have clients with PCOS. We have clients with Hashimoto's, insulin resistance. Of course, if you have PCOS, you probably have some type of insulin resistance going on. All of those ailments, absolutely. And the nice thing is, we can help you with those things. Yeah. We have trained professionals on our team that are legally allowed to help you with those things. So, registered dietitians. Jess is a registered nutritionist. We can absolutely help you with those things. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Those things make it harder, for sure. And we understand your frustrations when it comes to that. And that's what we help you with, is making a plan that's individualized to you and your limitations and whatever issues you're dealing with. Sorry, Jess, you were going to say something?
No, I was just going to echo that as well. And I was going to say that, these things make it more challenging, but that's why we have people on the team that can help support people with that. Because, that's what's so unique about it as well. But that's all. Yep.
Precisely. So, Mrs. Wheels, sounds like potentially you're interested in what we can help you with. Why don't you send me a message here, Mrs. Wheels, and we can chat a little bit further about your unique, health status and your struggles and your goals, and we can talk about how we can help you. No pressure, okay? I'll never pressure you on a call or anything like that to give me money or anything like that. We truly, first of all, we just want to build that relationship with you and understand what your struggles are and see if we can even help you, which based on what the questions and everything, I feel like we can. So if you're interested.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, especially because I think Mrs. Wheel said that she's got a lot of value from your content. And I think this is something as well that a lot of all of our clients as well, they absolutely adore you, Matt, for sure. So they've absorbed a lot of your content. But the thing is that, there's something so different and you can't explain it properly between having that one-on-one support with people that are there on hand. We're very, very personalized and it's a very intimate group actually, isn't it? We're like a big family almost. So yeah, it's different. And I think it's even perfect for those that have kind of just completely absorbed a lot of Matt's content and kind of ready to get going, but maybe there's the questions, they're not quite sure. Maybe that's a sign then to take that little bit of a leap of faith. But of course, we have a screening process to make sure that we're a good fit for you, you're a good fit for us, so on and so forth. So it's not this kind of okay, now you need to pay this money.
Yeah.
We're not like that.
Yeah, I don't work with everybody that I talk to on calls, on coaching consultations. There's been many times where I'd be like, first of all, I'll tell you flat out if I don't feel like you need a coach. I've turned people away. I just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great, And they're like, really? I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm not gonna sell you on something you don't need, And I've also referred clients, people out to different coaches, if I feel like they're a better fit for them. So it's making sure we're a good fit for each other, not just for you, for us, and so on and so forth. So
yeah, well, I think even giving yourself permission to kind of just explore options. I know for myself, I've invested a lot in people that have helped me in my growth, and not to go into it too much, but it's always this a little bit scary, a little bit uncertain, but something I always say on the other side of fear is growth. That kind of uncertain, oh my God, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. You're going into that growth zone. Regardless, something good is going to come out of it because you've pushed yourself outside that comfort zone. I think that's a nice little way to kind of summarize our conversation today.
Absolutely. And to add on to that really quickly, every single coach that I know has a coach of their own.
Yeah.
Okay. Now why do you think that coaches have coaches? Because we understand the value that coaches can provide. We understand what Jess was just talking about with that growth mindset and how there's so much that we don't know. We understand the value of investing in ourselves, financially, with time, with energy, things like that. Okay. I always say this, at a bare minimum, your health and fitness is an investment with at least your time and energy. It doesn't need to be financial, but it at least requires your time and energy. And if you can't do that, then no coach is ever going to be able to help you if you're not ready to invest your time and energy into improving yourself.
Yeah, and even on that, so something I'm part of is it's called the Goddess Collective, and actually I'm going to a retreat in Costa Rica in December. I cannot wait. But also I'm petrified. I've never been outside of Europe. I'm from Ireland, if you guys haven't already guessed where the accent's from. So I've never been on a long haul flight, never been anywhere like that. It's with a bunch of random people. As someone who has anxiety as well, I'm like, oh, what the hell is this? But as I always kind of tune in, that's when I know that's where that magic is. I said it kind of throughout our conversation, no magic ever came from the comfort zone. So again, it's, yeah, exactly. As coaches, we have to continuously push ourselves outside the comfort zone too. Yep.
Absolutely. Well said. I think that's a really great way to end this conversation. If, like I said, one more time, if you're interested in working with us, learning more about us, send me a DM, or you can go to my website, fitfattraining.com. You can learn about myself, Coach Jess on there, everybody on there. We're getting a 30-second countdown on Instagram. Can we only go live together for an hour? That's weird.
Yeah, must be.
20 seconds remaining. That is super weird, but hey, we said what we need to say. So.
Yeah. So brilliant to be here as well. And yeah, any questions you guys have, please do let me know. My DMs are open.
All right. Thanks, Jess. It was